But let's talk about the Lakers. They're on a 6-game win streak. They are beating playoff caliber opponents recently. They decimated the Nuggets. They got wins back to back over the Clippers. The question to me is just how far can they take it? Because the Lakers are currently the 2 seed. They're built to succeed. They have two major stars in LeBron and Luka and a killer supporting cast. Obviously, they have everything that they possibly could need to get it done and win a championship. The question is, can they? And can they in year one? And honestly, it's like year point 0.5 because Luka came in obviously at the trade deadline in the middle of the year. So it's kind of a random series of events where all of a sudden you look at the Lakers and say, well, this 7 seed at the time potentially could go on a run and win it all. How could they do it? Because I said yes, but it's hard to just say this team can win a championship right away. Obviously, any team with LeBron and Luka on it is going to be contending for a championship, but I'm talking truly, is this team doesn't seem to have what it takes. I think they do. Part of the reason why is because the West lacks playoff experience, and the Lakers have more playoff experience than probably any team in the league at this point, to be honest. LeBron, most playoff experience ever. Luka went to the finals last year, right? So Luka has the playoff experience that he's going to need. He played great in the bubble. He even had with full crowds, last year, made the finals, didn't win, but certainly got close, right? He was great in Dallas. Luka has enough playoff experience, in my opinion, to be considered experienced. LeBron, without a doubt, does. The Lakers, this team, without a doubt, does. Austin Reeves even has been around. Rui Hachimura has been around. These guys have playoff experience. They understand the way the stakes change when you get to that point in the season. OKC though, the Thunder, they were dropped in the conference semifinals last year, right? Memphis hasn't been good for a while. They had that 1 year in 2021. They haven't been good for a while, right? Houston, absolutely no playoff experience. It's not their fault. It's just the way that they are. They're young. They're new. They're kind of new to this stretch of the standings. Every team at the top is kind of shaky. The Nuggets, too, Jokic has been kind of solved. I think the Lakers would have no problem with the Nuggets. And the other teams up there are very experienced in the playoffs. And then you get to the 6th seed, and that's the series of teams that you need to be worried about, is that 6 to 8 range. The teams that are going to come out of the play-in, the Warriors just overtook the 6th seed. They took it from the Clippers. That Warriors roster with Stephen Curry, with Jimmy Butler, right? Even with Draymond as well. That Warriors team is scary. Anthony Edwards is scary with the Timberwolves. They're finally becoming healthy again. Teams like that, right? The Warriors and the Timberwolves, I think, are honestly scarier than most of the teams at the top of the West. I don't want to hate on OKC. They have a phenomenal record. They've played phenomenally well. They are incredible. OKC is going to be a threat and absolutely a candidate to win it all and certainly get to the finals out of the West. But the one thing that the Lakers have that a lot of those teams at the top don't is playoff experience. The teams that do have playoff experience are further down the list, and they've gotten better due to the trade deadline or potentially recovering from injury. Similar situations to the Lakers, just at a smaller degree. I think that, honestly, the Lakers match up well with most of those teams as well. The only team that would worry me is OKC because of their dominant front court, right? Shea is incredible, but the fact that the OKC kind of thrives on the combination of Hartenstein and Holmgren, which at least I watched last night, really succeed against Houston. That front court is something that the Lakers might not be able to contend with because they did give away Anthony Davis to bring in Luka, which obviously, not hating on that move on the LA side at all. But OKC matches up pretty well with LA. On top of that, they've won the most games out of any team ever in the league right now. This season, obviously, I shouldn't have said the word ever. But they're winning games. They just won their 50th, right? The top of the West, without a doubt, they'll be the 1 seed. They'll get Game 7 at home, right? They'll get all the critical games at home. OKC is a team that I think could knock out the Lakers, and I think that's what we might be on a crash course for, is potentially an OKC LA conference finals that falls in the favor of the Thunder. But again, those Warriors team, that Timberwolves team, that's the range of the standings there that I feel like could really upend the West and knock off some of those teams with the best records in the West and pave the way for the Lakers to warm themselves up for a conference finals against OKC. And that's the real question, is whether or not Luka is ready. Because, yes, he has playoff experience, and he is ready for the playoffs, you could say. But this is a much different situation, right? On the Mavericks, he was the number one guy. He was the one expected to take over games. And although that may be the case in LA, again, the team chemistry, completely different. The team dynamic, completely different. Losing Anthony Davis and bringing in Luka Doncic is a massive switch. It's a massive change of events. It's a massive flip in personality, in play style, across the board, right? This is an entirely different team, knowing that you add Luka and give up Anthony Davis. They're completely different players. They play different positions, right? This is different. This is new. And on top of that, for Luka, personally, he's shown he can perform in the playoffs, but now he's the number 2 guy, right? He's not the number 1 as he always was in Dallas. LeBron is the one that garners the most attention, has the most focus. And that's I'm not to say Luka would be jealous or potentially would play poorly because he's trying to be the number 1 guy. I don't think that he's that type of player at all. It's just a different dynamic. Is he ready to perform at a high level and be effective as a number 2 scorer in LA? I don't know. Probably, right? He probably is. And that's why I feel like the Lakers can escape the West as long as they can get past or at least avoid OKC. I think that the Lakers will be totally fine, right? If you look at the first round, they could be playing the Warriors. They could be playing the Timberwolves. I think the Lakers could either get dropped in round 1 or they're going to the finals. Or at least the conference finals. I don't think there's any way the Lakers lose in the Eastern Conference semifinal or the Western Conference semifinals rather, because if they get past one of those tough underdog teams like the Warriors and Timberwolves, then it's the Grizzlies or it's the Rockets, right? And I don't think that those teams have what it takes to knock out this Lakers team at this time, even though this Lakers team, at least this version of it, is new. So they can escape the West, right? They could get picked off by the Warriors. They could get picked off by Anthony Edwards. They could get picked off by Shea and the Thunder. I think that they can probably win the finals, but I wouldn't bet on it. I don't think they will. I don't think the Lakers will win a championship. But they have the roster, obviously, and the team capable of going all the way. They're very prone to getting dropped by Golden State, OKC, and then you forget that if you get to the NBA Finals, you still have to knock out a team like Boston or a team like Cleveland, right? A team like that, despite their talent, I feel like the Lakers would probably lose to. It's going to be interesting to watch play out. They will be massively fun to watch in the playoffs, and I'd love to see them go all the way. I'd love to see Luka happy. I'd love to see LeBron win another one. I'm a Pacers fan, obviously, so I want the Pacers to win it all. But it's a phase of the NBA where the guys that I grew up watching, like LeBron, are kind of phasing out. Kyrie might be done forever. He tore his ACL. He's out for the year. I don't know if I'll ever see him play again. And these guys are kind of phasing out. Curry's phasing out. LeBron's phasing out. It'd be good to see some of these guys get one more. I think that Curry versus LeBron in the playoffs would be absolutely spectacular as a 7-2. I hope that happens, or if it doesn't, I hope that it happens in the next round, right? I think that the Lakers and I think that the Warriors and the Timberwolves, these are all kind of these underdog teams that kind of really improved at the trade deadline that could be capable of doing some damage and making some things happen once we get to the playoffs. The Lakers can win a title. They can make it to the NBA Finals. I don't think that they will. I don't think they'll win a title. I don't know if they have it in them this year, just because, again, this isn't really year 1. This is year 0.5. And every other team, every other roster is at the very least on year 2, at least the ones up at the top. So the Lakers can win it all, but I don't think they will. It will, again, be interesting to play out, and I'm very excited to see that occur throughout the rest of the regular season and, of course, the playoffs. We'll see how much they can keep this 6-game winning streak going.